Hey YouTube, it's Rob. Um, I'm here with a new video, and I want to welcome some. I have some new subscribers that are friends that live close by me. I want to welcome them to my channel. And today on this video, I'm just gonna stick to the logic parts and the alignments, and I'm not gonna really focus on my theory because really what's more important is that I'm showing you observable evidence that means it's factual, that basically shows that not only do we not have an iron core for a planet in our planet, but it wasn't made the way that they claim. And because none of this stuff I'd be able to do, if they were right, none of this would make any sense, what I'm showing you. You would not see any alignments. You would not see basically like a story unfolding in front of your eyes, and you wouldn't have reoccurring patterns on a planet that was made by gravity and an accretion disk. Okay. Now, I just want to point out, here's a logical thing. Is when you're on a if you find images on the same planet that look similar, the odds are is they look similar because they're related, and they're usually related by the process that created them. So now, if these two images were from different planets, then I would totally think that it was just a lucky coincidence. But this is the same planet, so therefore I'm not going to think that. And what I want to show you is that I've been doing this for 2 years, and after 2 years of staring at the planet, you can see images that reoccur, and they're not from cloning tools, because as screwed up as Google Earth is, because they colorize their stuff, it's not a painting, it's not a portrait, it's not. They didn't just bring this planet up by their imagination. They colored over actual, film, I guess, or footage of a planet, probably for censorship. That's what I think. I'd like to have the regular photos, but that ain't gonna happen, I guess. So, anyways, this is not from cloning tools. I hate it gets ridiculous how I have to keep telling people that want to try to they think they're proving me wrong because they think that they know something about cloning tools and Photoshop or whatever, and you don't know shit, because obviously that's not the case here. Okay, so anyways, the recurring patterns that I notice a lot is this arching right here. You see this. It's not so much that they're all arches, they're all the same degree of arch. Okay, that's what makes it stand out to me. And it's the same when they have the same degree of, arching or whatever. It has to be related. It's not a coincidence. And I want you to pay attention to not just this area right here and this area, but these features on the ocean bottom, and then you see these features on the landmass too. Okay, and let me just show you this alignment right here so you can see what I'm talking about. You can see how that. Hold on, maybe I can make this easier. Hold on. Okay, hopefully this will help. It's funny. I was just thinking of something. The people that are claiming that I'm seeing reoccurring patterns because of cloning tools, I would say, you know what? Technically, you're actually right. But the cloning tools that you think you see aren't from Google Earth. They'd be God's cloning tools, because the cloning tool that they're seeing is like this right here, and this arch right here. This is the Himalayas, right? Well, this arch right here, I guess, would be God's cloning tool, because you can see that it lines up here, right there, and if that doesn't get you, this feature right there fits right into there. You can even see that you got that knuckling, I call knuckling or whatever, it looks like knuckles like that. You can see that they fit into there. It shouldn't take much imagination to know if I was to flip this around that you could possibly see it fit in here. I know it fits in there. So would California right there. I recognize shapes that I see over and over again. So a lot of things I see very easily that other people can't. Okay, but the same thing, that it's got the same degree of curvature here. You see this is God's cloning tool, not Photoshop. See how it fits right there? Yeah, see that? Over and over again, this same degree of archness is a cloning tool, but not from Photoshop. See how it fits into here again? And why this is relevant is it absolutely 100%, read my lips, discredits plate tectonics. And I'm here to say that I will argue that with anybody who feels up to it. And also I've had people say that hey, you know, I don't have a PhD and I don't have a degree in geology and all this and that. Well, like I was telling them, I don't need a PhD and I don't need a degree to be correct. I don't know where people think that for some reason you have to have approval from the government in order to be right. Well, that's not the case here, and I am right, because you don't get these alignments, and they are alignments. And I have yet not a single person that says that I'm wrong has yet come forward and proven me wrong on any of these alignments, because you can't. I mean, that's sort of, they don't understand. I know this. I already know this ahead of time, that when you have alignments like this, you can't be proven wrong. And it's not like I'm arrogant or cocky. I'm just saying that because it's the truth. It can't. I mean, you can see how it fits over and over again right there, right? God's cloning tools. You know, I'm not saying that God did this. I'm just using that, you know, as an example for the people that like to blame all this on cloning tools. Technically, you're right, but you're also wrong, because you think they're cloning tools from Photoshop. But I would say that they're cloning tools of the creation of this planet would be correct, because you can see the semi-hexagon right here, which is a dead giveaway of electromagnetism. Just is. Doesn't matter if people don't believe it or not. It is. And here we go with the creator's cloning tools again. See how that fits into there? That's proof that plate tectonics isn't right. And the reason that is because if you got plates between, these are opposite sides of the planet. Now, not only do you have plates in between here and there, but you have an iron core according to plate tectonics. None of that is possible if I line these up. It's that simple. And plate tectonics doesn't overrule that these line up. When you see these line up with your own eyes, that overrides plate tectonics, because plate tectonics is a theory. What you're seeing is fact. This is called observable evidence, and it's observable that, like I said, the degree of arch there is the cloning tool of the creation of our planet. And you're going to find this arch all over the planet. Like, for instance, all I have to do is, well, first of all, you can see how this is the overspill, and you can see how it's not just the arch either. It's the distance, the measurements. Sometimes things don't look exactly like one another, and they're not going to be exact duplicates, but they're going to be the same size and shape and same arch. So, and you can see that, and everything that I'm showing you from what I've figured out is a reoccurring pattern. You see how that fits again right there? It's a reoccurring pattern. In plate tectonics, there are no reoccurring patterns. except for that myth about the hot spots creating Hawaii. That's not true. And you got to realize there's a difference between when they tell you something and if they have observable evidence. And you always have to believe the observable evidence over not being. I mean, they tell you there's plates there. You don't see plates because they're under the ground, but they tell you that they're there. But I found this observable evidence that says they're not there, and they're not plates. They may be layers, but they're not plates. And you know what I mean? It's just impossible. You can't. I wouldn't be able to show you this if there were plates there and if it was the way that they claim. See how it fits again? See that right there? That distance and the same degree of arch. That's 100% factual evidence. It just is. And if you don't think so, prove it. I mean, that's all I'm asking and I have yet for anybody to discredit this stuff, you know. And that's why I got some really good supporters now, you know. Now check this. Remember that degree of arch? Well, check out how here it is a cloning tool for the Himalayas. Yeah, I like this cloning tool thing. It actually makes more sense this way, even though it's not the cloning tools that they think that they're talking about. But they are. Look at the same degree of arch, and then you even have this right here. And you can kind of tell what happens. But I'm not going to go into that because basically what's important here is that you're witnessing the absolute proof that plate tectonics is wrong. And like I said, look at that. I didn't even notice that. Check this out. You see the same degree right here? It's the same as right here. And then, you know, people that might want to look into this really close, I already have. And this has got its fingerprint. These islands right here are cloning tools of a fingerprint, I guess. And these fingerprints you can find all over the planet. And every time you find one, it's 100% proof that plate tectonics is wrong. And you can see these islands markings everywhere I put this. The cool thing about if you're right about something, you really don't have to do much work because the truth does it for you. And I already know that people that will try to discredit this, they can't because it's the truth. You can see this. You can see the runoff here, the turbulence and the runoff. Okay. And you can look as close as you want. I think this is why you don't see geologists making comments on my channel, because they're smart. A lot of people I get crap from. I don't think they realize they're not giving the geologists the credit that they deserve. I mean, because they're assuming the geologist is supporting them, and so they come on my channel and they talk all this smack and you know, and then wonder why no geologists are saying anything. It's probably because you underestimated their intelligence and you think that they're supporting you. But I know a geologist would see these alignments, and he already knows that on a planet having the same degree of arch and all that, it means it's all related, and they'd be the first ones to realize that plate tectonics is wrong. And that's why that's what I believe you don't hear them on my channel. You just hear trolls. And trolls don't know much, so that's why they're here causing all the trouble or whatever from those forums or whatever. It's because they don't know that much and they don't realize that they're wrong, but they are, because look at that alignment. Okay, and then also you got to think of this area too. Hold on. see if I can do this. Gosh, it didn't come out like it is easy to see, but hold on, maybe I can. Okay, so here's that area. Here's the area in its negative form. So I'm hoping that this helps make it easier to see. Okay, so we got our alignment there, but then you bring it down and you can see the alignments continue. See that right there? These are the same thing. This is the cloning tools of the creation of our planet. This is a same thing as this. These are just different moments in a split second of time or whatever of this creation. So most of the entire planet will basically line up in this area, and each one a different layer of the same thing. And I'm just following some of the advice of one of my #1 subscribers, and I'm not really going to talk about why I think this is really what made this way. I'm just showing you the evidence, and that's really basically all we need to know that plate tectonics is not right. This is the proof. It doesn't get, you don't get better than this actually, because this can't be debated. You see that? You can see that this is wrapping. You can see with your own eyes that you got something coming down and you got something wrapping around. You can see it going over it in the image. Well, here's the texture that supports it. This looks like a tongue, kind of like, and as I try to make as much sense of it as I can, but it looks, well, you can see it's wrapping around, but it looks like a tongue hanging out. And sometimes I think of this as a fist right here, and it just helps me to remember what I'm looking at when I see images similar to it. But I bring it down, it lines up again. God's cloning tools. And you can see that the lines, that's the other thing, the distance apart from these lines also is an indicator. See how that fits into there? This is an overspill, and this just happens to be the texture of it. They're the same. See how it keeps on lining up. My proof, this is my evidence, and it's 100% solid. I guarantee that no matter who you bring to the table to argue this with me, either A, they're just not going to bother because they'll know, or B, they won't, and I'm more than happy to argue with them. And you know what's trippy about that tongue looking thing that's coming down? It almost looks like a miniature version of this. That's something else I was going to look into, by the way. But you can see the alignments. But there's more though, and I never have enough time to show everything, of course. So we got that. I should show you all the other alignments. This arch right here aligns also with India, the arch in India. Even though India doesn't look like that, it's still the same thing. It's a different moment in time. Yeah, so remember the same degree of arch right there, alignments, is what the cloning tool of the creation of our planet. And you can see that every time you see anything on our planet that has this arch, it's going to fit in here, in there. Yeah, check this out. Okay, so you got the same degree of arches. You'll notice that there's this triangular, I guess what they call it is a fault, but you can see that it fits right into there, as this fits right into here like a glove. And then you can see this, what I call is a number 6, and you can that's usually electromagnetic related, just like the hexagon, because it's about rotation, like a spiraling. but you don't have to believe that. But you do have to believe these alignments. I mean, because you can see them with your own eyes, and you can see that as I move it down, it fits again. God's cloning tools. So you can see that, and you can see that this even fits in here. But that's solid. I mean, if you knew how much observable evidence plate tectonics has, and the amount that I have just from Google Earth, it should be a no-brainer. You could see that this area is also related. You could just tell. I can look at it and I can tell you that this and this are the same thing. What they claim are faults outline the features of this obviously rotating. You can see that anytime you have that arching, it's from rotation. It's circles are made by rotation, and these are opposite sides of the planet, and they line up. That kind of pretty much tells you there's no iron core, because that would be a block between this area, and there can't be any plates that are holding this up, because that would block these from being able to line up. I mean, this couldn't happen if there were plates there. So that's the solid proof about what I've got here. This is pretty much, it's undebatable. Look, you can even tell that this area up here also will line. It's part of the same thing. It's this area actually right here. If I rotate it around and I get a straight on shot, it's going to line up on this too. And plate tectonics, there's no room for reoccurring patterns. They just don't happen like that. See how this fits in here? Fits in there. I have other things that fit in there too. Even like this arch right here of the discolor, how it's discolored, it's darker green. That also fits in here. It's the same degree of arch. It's gonna be related. I guess I'm just gonna cut this video at this length right now, and then I'll have more stuff on this in another video. Thanks for watching.